What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on another video from us here at the Wingman University. My name is Nate Hibbert, and we are talking once again about Shopify, which I am very excited to start showing you guys what's possible. But really, we're doing kind of a case study, and this is probably the second or third video in this series. So if you guys want to catch up and watch the first one or two videos in this series talking about this particular case study, which is our first store, you can click the card up in the top left-hand corner. At least that's my left. I don't know if it's your guys' left. We'll figure that out as we get 1% better and keep moving forward. But today I want to jump into what the back end of Shopify looks like. So in the last video, I showed you guys kind of the storefront and some of the people that we've partnered up with on our personal Shopify store. And it's mostly nonprofits or smaller businesses local to us that are looking to just have some type of online presence, kind of get their feet wet before they're ready to jump into their own website. And so we thought that was a good way for us to partner and just learn a lot about the platform. But on the back end, there is a lot to learn as well. And so as we want you guys to go out and see if this is the right fit for you, I thought that I would just kind of do an overview of what the back end of Shopify looks like. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into it. I had to start a new store just because all the other stores that I wanted to show off, they actually have customer information in there, and I don't want to just be promoting that to the whole world of who's buying exactly what. So unfortunately, there won't be any data inside of this store that I'm going to show off, but I think that's for the best of everyone's safety, and you'll still get to see exactly kind of that language that I've been talking about that you need to speak to understand the back end of Shopify. If you've used other websites like Wix or WordPress or other things like that, Squarespace, there's a couple of them out there. It might seem kind of familiar, but there is definitely its own language that Shopify speaks. So again, we're just going to click around a little bit to show you guys some things that I found extremely useful when I first started, and with things I wish I knew from day one. But we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and jump into the screen and show you guys what this looks like. And like I said, it's going to say, just started your free trial. I promise we have multiple Shopify stores up, but the reason I did this again is just over here when we start clicking through, they could show off your customers. And so this is actual people that have bought from us, their names and address and things like that. So instead of blurring out like half of the video, I figured just start a new account so I can show you guys what's going on. And yeah, not have to worry about blurring things out or anything like that. So again, this is not a how to get your first products up on Shopify like through print-on-demand services or anything like that. Those videos are to come. We do plan on doing those things, but I literally just wanted to show you guys what the back end of Shopify looks like. Click around a little bit so you can see the different tabs and start to learn how to speak the language of Shopify. There's lots of lessons and stories and things that I want to show off as we go through a few more case studies that I'm going to do. And so having this as your backbone of at least you've seen the back end of Shopify at this point and kind of understand where things are laid out and how everything works together, the beginning of your understanding, unless you have been using Shopify already, which is great. And you guys can let me know down in the comments below, which I actually want to make a note about that a little bit later, but you can let me know in the comments below if you have been using Shopify, if this video was helpful, and if there's anything I forgot to mention. Again, I'm only a couple months into Shopify, so I'm sure there are things that I'm just not extremely knowledgeable on or know nothing about, so you guys can let me know, if there's something I'm missing and should know for myself. But let's talk about the layout now. So this is your home screen, and this is actually a valuable screen to look at every once in a while. I believe when we were doing things in Q4, it was kind of prepping us for things like Black Friday and how to take advantage of using the discounts and free shipping and things like that. So, some of these sites will have information that pops up here and it's just kind of selling you on something. But on Shopify, this homepage, I actually have found some good, useful information, especially when you first start. So these tips to getting started are actually really helpful. I forgot these popped up, but they help you do things like customize your theme, which is the actual look of your store, adding the domain, and then adding your first products as well. And kind of gives you a checklist to go through and kind of walks you through that as well, which is very nice of them. So home screen is something to check out, but it's kind of just like a news feed on Facebook. It will fill up as things happen after you've had your account for a while. It usually, I believe, shows like traffic that has come to your website. So after you've done all of your basic setup things, this will show you kind of the update or a current look at what's going on your web page when you first log in, which is always nice to know, like how many people are actually seeing, what you're putting up here. So that's great. So that's your home screen, and over here on the left, this is where you're going to navigate throughout basically all of the back end of Shopify. There's some settings and stuff in other places, like down here at the bottom, over here on the right, but for the most part, you're going to be navigating on this left-hand side where you can see all these tabs. Now, the first thing that I had to learn when I started clicking around is that most of these tabs, if not all of them, when you click on them, actually have other tabs underneath them. So as I clicked on orders there, you'll start to see all orders, draft, and abandoned checkouts, which is actually pretty cool that that is something they have built in to their platform. I'm not going to be able to run down every single thing. Again, I'm not extremely knowledgeable on all of these either, so I don't want to misspeak in places that I'm not super familiar with. But this abandoned checkout has actually gotten us a few sales already, which is someone went to your store, they put something in their cart, and instead of checking out, they clicked off of it or didn't have the time or whatever. And what this will do is actually send out an email to those people reminding them, hey, you have stuff in your cart. Did you want to buy that stuff? And you can do things like giving them like, hey, we saw that you put something in your cart, didn't check out. Do you want free shipping on that item or 10% off? And so there's lots of cool things that you can do with that as well. But sorry, back to just the navigation of this website, of the back end of Shopify, knowing that when you click on orders, there are going to be other things that pop down as well that you can't get to unless you click on orders first. So the same thing with products. If I click on products here, you're going to see that there's a bunch of other things that pop down here. So I would not be able to get to my collections without first going to products. So just something to be aware of. Again, starting to speak that language of Shopify, understanding where things are laid out and stuff like that. So the next thing is customers. This one you can see doesn't have anything else that pops out. It probably will when you start having customers in here. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but again, I didn't want to show off our customers' names and their emails and their addresses and all that stuff, so that's why we're here on this account that doesn't have anything set up, which will probably be good in future when we do start setting things up and start showing off like how to do your themes and adding products and all that. You'll get to see it from a brand new account, which now that I think about it is probably for the best. The analytics, this is what Steven loves. I'm very happy that this is here so he can nerd out on this kind of stuff. This is where you're getting to see how many people have visited your store, your total sales, all of that stuff. It actually does change based on what plan you select. So the lowest plan, you're going to get fairly basic data, but as you go up in plans, there's a variety of different benefits, but one of them is more data to look at here in your analytical board. And the live view is kind of cool. When we launched one of our stores, we were watching this and we could see, little pins pop up all over the place where people are actually looking at the store, which was a cool thing to do. So moving down, I'm just going to go through all of these one by one. The marketing, this is honestly something I haven't touched at all. We're learning on this. I'm kind of pushing this on Steven. Again, that's more of what I'm asking him for help for this year. And so running the Google ads and Facebook ads and all these things, that's going to be something that he kind of tackles. So I'll ask him to make videos on this when we start. Kind of the same with discounts. This will probably be something that we both have to work on, as I know like the product pricing a little bit better than he does. But this is, again, cool that it's already built in. Shopify knows what you're going to be doing with these stores. Offering discounts is always a great thing to do and boost kind of that loyalty to your customer loyalty, which is really good. And a reason we're excited to move away from Amazon is that we actually get more customer data here, so we can reach out to them, we can email them personally, tell them updates about if anything goes wrong with the actual like products and things like that, but also reward them for, hey, we've seen that you purchased from us this many of times, we wanted to say thank you, free shipping on your next purchase, or here's a free gift and we'll send it straight to you, things like that. So we're excited about that. And then apps, this is where Shopify really expands and takes on kind of new life with the apps. There's just so many things that you can do, kind of like an app store for your smartphone. Your smartphone is pretty cool without apps, but actually having apps on your smartphone is what makes it just to a whole nother level. So kind of the same thing here for Shopify, where you're going to be doing things that can add, images, or I don't know. There's so much. I should have thought of some off the top of my head, but there's so many of them here. Even some of the partners that we have their own apps that allow us to put their products on our store. Things like that. Just tying multiple websites together through these apps and giving your store more functionality is basically what these apps are going to do. So that's kind of all the back end stuff as far as like actual products and everything that you're seeing here. But where it gets interesting, and a place that I've spent a lot of my time when we first started out is in these sales channels. And so the actual online store is one of your sales channels. So you can set up a few different sales channels if you want to sell on like Facebook or other places that are available. But the online store, this is basically where you have your own domain and what your online store will look like. So just like all of these tabs up here, once you click on it, you can see that there's a lot more that pops in down here and becomes available to click on, I should say. So as you can see, this is a brand new account. I haven't done anything with this, not even the theme. And so I'm going to make a completely different video on this, because this is kind of, it's a large topic, and I'm not going to be able to cover it all even in one video as far as what you can do with the actual look of your store. But this is the area that you start to do that. So your theme is the exact look of how your store is going to look to the customers, and there's these current themes, there's these themes that you put on there that will allow you to change up the actual look and feel of the store. That might be slightly confusing. I probably could have worded that better, but that's the basic idea. Is it's going to change how it looks to the customer. And then you can also do things like blog posts. You can write blog posts and have them pop in on your store in different places. The pages, where you're actually going to, tell Shopify how many pages you want. They make this fairly intuitive, so you don't actually have to do any HTML coding or anything like that. And so once you understand, again, the language that Shopify speaks, this all becomes a lot clearer. But then the navigation, this will be the menus that you have. So the footer menu, the main menu, you can add menus in here, and you can add where these menus are linked to. So your home page, your catalog are already default put in there, but you can change that up as you see fit. So the next thing is domains. This is going to be the store name. So currently I just have it called the Wingman Learn and Earn, as that's what we like to do. And so our domain is Wingman Learn and Earn. If we ever do launch this live, that's where you'll be able to go and actually see what we have going on this particular store, which was more of a test place than anything else. Then your preferences, and this is just kind of background information, your Google Analytics, your Facebook Pixel, all very helpful things to have, but not something we're going to cover too much probably until Steven starts running some ads. Maybe then we'll come back to this area. So that was a super quick run through of everything over here, but again, just trying to get you guys' feet wet, let you see what the back end of Shopify looks like if you haven't set up a Shopify store before. I wish that I found a video like this when I first started out, because it just was me clicking around on things and trying to understand what was going on. So hopefully me going at a fairly decent pace. I'm excited about this stuff, so maybe I'm speaking a little bit quick, but hopefully you guys could follow along at least just this navigation part that we covered here. Now, I don't want to end this video without giving you guys at least one tip that I found extremely useful and I always just looked past when I first started, and that was actually this search bar. So the tip is to use this search bar. It's actually really, really good. And so things like your shipping, pricing and all of that, if you just type in shipping, it's going to show you, it's going to be in settings and shipping, so it actually tells you where to see these settings. But if you just click here, it's going to take you straight to your shipping stuff. So that took me a while to figure out, how to deal with shipping and where is my shipping even located. And it took me like looking up videos and reading forums and all that kind of stuff to figure out how to do this. But actually, if I just went to this search bar, at the top here, I could have just typed in shipping and it would have brought me straight there. I guess that's the last thing that I should touch on. Over on the left hand side, the very bottom, the settings button is has a lot more stuff going on here. The legal, the billing, the store, languages, files, uploading that you might have to do depending on what type of products you're uploading, and all these different things. Here is shipping and taxes, which is very important. Setting is kind of the backbone of the back end of Shopify. So very important things going on here. But again, if you're looking for something, you just can't find it, you can type it in and it even remembers your recent searches, which is very nice of them. So if you're looking for a specific product or help with something, that is, it was a lifesaver a couple of times where I just couldn't quite remember where a setting was or couldn't find it in the first place. The search bar is really good. So that's my little tip to you guys as you're starting to poke around here, see what's possible. I suggest that you guys take a look at least at Shopify, try to make the decision if that's something that you want to tackle, if you're ready for, in 2020, if you had success on Amazon or some other print-on-demand platforms, if you're ready to kind of tackle something a little bit bigger, be able to be more in control of your products and your marketplace and your customers, and have actual relationships with your customers, which is something I'm excited about, then I think Shopify is a good thing, but I don't think it's for everybody. We've been taking, a couple calls with people here and there who've been following us for a while, and they're asking us, like, specifically for them, do we think that it's a good time for them to jump into Shopify? And some have been overwhelming yeses, and some of them have been not quite yet. There are probably some other things that you should work on before you jump into something like Shopify. So we're not trying to paint this as, the easiest thing in the world to jump into, or maybe even where you should be starting, but we're not trying to, shy you guys away from that either. If you feel like you're ready, if you feel like this is something you want to tackle, then we're going to be here and we're going to try to help you along the way. And this will be more of you get to join us as we are learning the platform as well. For, Merch by Amazon and KDP, we have a ton of content on that. There's probably links in the description below as Steven is creating the descriptions down there and wants you guys to feel like you have all the information you need. But this is going to be a little bit different, as with those platforms we feel pretty knowledgeable, we feel like we have a good grasp on them, we have found a lot of success with those platforms, and Shopify we found some success with, but there's still a lot more learning that we have to do, so we're trying to include you guys on this journey that we are on ourselves. But as this video is getting a little bit on the longer side, I want to stop things there for today. Like I said, we'll be jumping back into the back end of Shopify a lot. And, I almost forgot, I wanted to recall a comment that I made a little bit earlier in this video about the comments in the comments section below. So, as a human here on the internet, I love interacting with other people. I love working with local businesses. I love, just getting lunch with people, sitting down one-on-one, and, trying to offer any advice that I have or any lessons that I've learned in certain areas that they want to learn or, expand their business into. So, for my own sanity, I know Steven loves data. He loves seeing the view count go up. He loves seeing our reach expand in certain different areas. But for me, the best thing you can do to help me out is just to comment below. Even if you're not asking a question, even if you're just saying like, hey, Nate, like the video, or, some type of encouragement or anything, I really just love seeing people's names. So I'm going to try a little animation, but if you guys can scroll down to the description, if you can scroll down to the comments below, I got to get my terminology right. It's very simple to leave a comment here on YouTube. Yes, you have to be signed in, but again, that would mean the world to me, as we're seeing a lot of people starting to watch our videos. I can't believe how much better our channel is growing here on YouTube than it did on Facebook when we were putting videos up over there. But if you just click here and type in, whatever you want to say to me, just so I can see who you are, your username, and feel like I am actually making an impact here on YouTube. I know that you guys are watching these videos. We're seeing our watch time and all these great stats go up. Steven's messaging me all the time that he's excited about just all the analytics over here on YouTube. But for me personally, I love seeing usernames. I like interacting with you guys. I like commenting back on the comments that you guys say. And just knowing the direction that we're going in, all of those great things. So if you could do that for me, I would much appreciate it. That's just like my own personal thing. That doesn't, it might help us in the YouTube realm as well, which is great. But for my own personal sanity, instead of just seeing these numbers rise, like, I'd actually like to interact with you guys. And we're going to have more opportunities to do that with actually jumping on Skype calls with us. We want to continue that here in 2020 and all those great things. But just seeing comments under the videos, I've realized have made this YouTube thing a lot more fun for me. So if you can just say something down there so I can at least see some names, that makes this journey a little bit, more fun for me, I'll say, and enjoyable. So I appreciate you guys so much. We have a lot more coming on Shopify, but until Thursday, I will see you guys around.